I just found out the reasons for my parents' divorce. I'm shocked. My parents have been divorced for as long as I can remember. My dad has not been a consistent part of my life, and my mom has been my primary caregiver. I have struggled with depression and anxiety, often trying to avoid thinking about my problems in order to function. When I turned 18, my dad expressed a desire for me to meet his side of the family, whom I had never met before. My mom explained that she and his side of the family didn't get along and she didn't want me to meet them because she feared they would mistreat me. Despite this, my dad gradually convinced me to meet my cousins, then his sister, his wife, and her daughters. I had known his wife for about 2 years but had only met her a few times. In September, when I was in the hospital, my dad casually mentioned that she's actually his wife. This came as a shock to me, and I expressed my sadness at not being included in such an important part of his life. His response was dismissive, stating that it wasn't a real marriage because it happened in 2012 and wasn't done in a church. The situation became more complicated when my mom found out about his marriage. She called in to ask and told him to tell me because it would hurt me not to know. He initially lied and then said the same things he told me, not acknowledging that my mom knew. After this phone call, he called me and asked if he had ever told me, which I knew was a strange way to include me in his lie. I recently found out that my parents divorced due to my dad cheating and living a double life, with a second home and another woman. My mom was financially abused, manipulated, and gaslighted throughout their relationship and marriage. She worked tirelessly to support us after the divorce, and her trust in men has been shattered. Learning about this has left me feeling guilty for not telling her earlier and sad for how he treated her. I had been invited to my dad's wife's daughter's wedding in July, but after learning the truth about my dad's actions, I now feel the need to cancel my attendance. This has been incredibly distressing for me, and I am struggling to process it. I never thought I'd have to doubt him and his role in my life. A month later, my mom had to sort through some documents, and that's when she discovered he was married. She called in to ask and told him to tell me because it would hurt me not to know. At first, he lied, then said the same things he told me, didn't acknowledge that my mom knew, and then started saying some unpleasant things to her. After this phone call, he called me and asked if he had ever told me, a strange way to include me in his lie. I tried to ignore the whole thing because I've never felt part of my dad's life, so I wasn't surprised. However, I received an invitation to his wife's daughter's wedding in July, which was something I needed to tell my mom. I told her yesterday, and now I feel like my heart is crumbling. My mom broke down and told me that they divorced due to my dad cheating and living a double life, with a second home and another woman. My mom had found out from me as a kid telling her about his other house and this other lady. He was essentially manipulating and gaslighting her throughout their relationship and marriage, while also financially abusing her by making her fund his life and pushing her into debt. When they divorced, she was working 14 hours every day to pay off the debt. As a kid, I remember she was working all the time, and I had to raise myself emotionally as best as I could. Now I find out her life, and my childhood became so messed up because of him. To this day, she has never wanted to date anyone else, and her trust in men has been shattered. She's lonely and insecure, and for 20 years had to put up with him because she didn't want me to have a bad image of him in my mind. I feel so guilty for not telling her earlier and so sad for how he treated her, and that he probably doesn't even love me all that much. I have to cancel my ticket for the wedding now, and it's stressing me out. I want to lay in my bed and rot for now. I don't know how to process this, and I guess I never thought I'd have to doubt him and his role in my life. How do you like the story, my friend? Write your opinion in the comments. Let's get 1,000 subscribers on this channel together. Love you.